Most of you have probably come across a ton of different types of skaters. Some of them might have been cool, and others might have been not so cool. There are plenty of types of skaters out there that people hate, but there's also a lot of skaters out there that people love. In this video, we're going to go over a few of the best types of skaters you'll meet. If any good ones were missed, be sure to leave them in the comments, and with that said, let's get right into it. To start off with, we have the handrail skater. These are the guys that are so dialed in on skating rails that they could do it blindfolded. For them, a 20 stair is simply just a warm-up, and they can hold a grind longer than you can hold your breath. Now, the handrail skater is almost always on the younger side, because, let's be honest, it's kind of tough to keep jumping on rails as you get older. The amount of skill and precision needed to skate a rail is insane, and the consequences of messing up are, not that great. Because of this, handrail skaters are a pretty niche group of people, and the few people who do skate large rails tend to be highly regarded. It doesn't matter if you're a 20-year skate veteran or someone who's never stood on a board in your life. Seeing someone skate a handrail is something you can't help but appreciate. Sometimes you will find some skateboarders out there who hate on handrail skaters because they prefer more technical skateboarding, but they tend to be in the minority. The majority of skateboarders have a deep respect for handrail skaters because at the end of the day, it's arguably one of the most difficult types of skateboarding there is. So moving on, another type of skater everyone loves is the food skater. This is the guy who always has food in his bag and is always ready to feast. Now, some skaters just settle for gas station snacks and will eat whatever garbage food combo they can piece together. But the real food skater knows the value of actual good food from a company like Factor, which happens to be today's video sponsor. Basically, Factor supports wholesome eating made simple. Their menus are updated weekly and include 27 plus meals and 33 plus add-on options. You can either choose your favorite meals or let Factor craft your order based on your taste preferences and meal history. Most skateboarders are pretty lazy with cooking, but with Factor, you can skip the trip to the grocery store, skip all of the prepping, and even skip the cleaning up. Factor's fresh, never frozen meals are ready in just 2 minutes, so all you have to do is heat and enjoy. This allows you to spend less time on cooking meals and more time on skating or gaming or whatever it is you want to do. Head to factor75.com or click the link below and use the code SKATEBOX50 to get 50% off your first Factor box. Thanks again to Factor for sponsoring today's video. Number 3 on the list is the skate park parent. It's somewhat rare, but there are some parents out there who are actually really supportive of skateboarding. Now, I don't just mean they buy you stuff and drop you off at the skate park. These parents go above and beyond. They have no problem picking up the entire crew, dropping off food so everyone can eat, and really going out of their way to support the scene. This means anything from supporting events, to keeping other people at the skate park in check, to cleaning up skate spots, to offering tips to people skating, and of course, acting as an impromptu filmer when needed. Honestly, any parent that supports skating in the slightest is highly appreciated, but skaters definitely love the parents that go above and beyond. The skater that owns a trick. Now, I'm sure many of you may be thinking, dude, how can you possibly own a trick? Well, let me explain. There are certain tricks out there that are synonymous with specific skaters. For example, the 900 will always be synonymous with Tony Hawk. No matter how many people do it, no matter how good they do it, and no matter what they do it on, the 900 is a trick that tons of people automatically associate with Tony Hawk's name. There are simply certain tricks that specific skateboarders have become known for. And although other people can do them, some skaters have gone above and beyond and really mastered them to the fullest extent. A few well-known examples of this are Neen Williams and heel flips, Jamie Foy and frontside crooked grinds, and Rodney Mullen and dark slides. And that's just to name a few. I'm sure if you check the comments, there are plenty more that people can name as well. The skate park girlfriend. So sometimes skate park girlfriends get a bad rap, but it isn't always their fault. Guys in general tend to hate whenever a dude in the friend group has to bring along their girlfriend to everything they do, but in skateboarding, it doesn't necessarily always have to be a bad thing. Sometimes the skate park girlfriend can actually be a nice touch to the group. Just like with skate park parents, skate park girlfriends often don't mind filming for people, and sometimes the girlfriend even skates herself. Also, unlike the other decrepit skaters who've been wearing the same pants for a solid week and likely haven't showered in days, girl skaters usually don't smell like a literal dumpster. Don't get me wrong, bringing your girlfriend to the skate park can definitely cause a lot of problems. And I'm not entirely sure if I do it myself, but in some situations, it's not always terrible. The skateboarding animal. Skateboarding animals are another type of skater that everyone can appreciate, even if they don't skate themselves. I mean, there's something about watching an animal ride a skateboard that's just kind of funny and cool to see. It seems like for a while, the only type of skateboarding animal you'd ever see were dogs. But these days, there's pretty much no limit to the types of animals that are skating. The cool thing about it is that it seems like a lot of these animals genuinely enjoy skateboarding. Whenever you see a bear riding a unicycle, you have to wonder how much torture it went through to be convinced to do it. On the other hand, when you watch videos of animals skateboarding, you can tell that the animals are doing it because they're genuinely having fun, and it's not like they're being forced. Although most of them are only cruising around and aren't exactly doing tricks, if you think about it, they're pretty much about as core of a skateboarder as you can get. They don't care about how they look, they don't care about what rules to follow, they're literally just skateboarding because they enjoy it. Personally, this is my favorite type of skater just because I've always wanted a pet that skates, but if you think there's a type that's better, then be sure to leave it in the comments. The fried skater. One of the most common types of skaters you'll meet is the fried skater. These skaters like to partake in certain extracurricular activities that tend to make them a little bit more chilled out than the average person. Fried skaters are usually a lot of fun to skate with because they're all about having a good time and they really don't take things too seriously. While some skaters might be getting mad and throwing their boards around, the fried skater is really just there vibing, which always makes for a good session. Now, the drawback to the fried skater is that they can be a little forgetful, so sometimes if you're going on a trip or trying to plan a session, then you gotta double check on things. But other than that, these dudes are some of the best skaters you'll meet. The filmer. The filmer is the type of skater who primarily focuses on filming skating. They usually still skate themselves, and in some cases, they can even be pretty good, but they still spend a large portion of their time filming other people skate. These guys are really the unsung heroes of skateboarding, because if you think about it, without filming, a lot of skateboarding culture simply wouldn't exist. Whether it's simply a small local video of a few friends or an international video of a professional skateboarding company, filmers all play a major role in skateboarding. These guys are typically the planners of the group who coordinate trips and keep everybody rolling smoothly, and they don't really get the recognition they deserve. Think about it. Not only do these guys carry around heavy cameras and spend all of their money on something they're likely never going to make a return on, but they'll gladly sit down for hours filming other skateboarders without actually skating themselves. Of course, not all filmers are great, but most of them are trying their best. So if you have a filmer that you work with, be sure to give them some extra gas money, or buy them lunch or something, or just tell them that you appreciate their work. The handicap skater. So to be honest, I don't even know if handicap is the right term, because a lot of skaters with various disabilities actually skate better than other able-bodied people. The reason why this is one of the best types of skaters is that almost everyone loves seeing a skateboarder who has pushed through some form of adversity and kept on skating. There's tons of skaters out there with either psychological or physical impairments, but yet they still manage to continue skateboarding. Not only that, but they're genuinely respected in skateboarding for the things that they've accomplished, which is really one of the cool things about skateboarding. There's no set standard of what you have to do to be considered good, and instead, you're being judged based off your own personal skill level, how far you've been able to push yourself, and just the way you skate in general. It can be extremely tough for people with disabilities or impairments to participate in traditional sports, but in skateboarding, not only can anyone participate, but they can actually thrive. And most skateboarders out there are glad to see that. The celebrity skater. These days, skateboarding has become so popular that there are a lot of public figures who are known to skate themselves. Despite some of these people not having the best rap within skateboarding, a lot of times it is nice to recognize people who are successful in other areas of life who also have their roots in skateboarding. Oftentimes skateboarders are seen as burnouts or losers, so when you watch a skateboarder grow up to become a well-known public figure, it's refreshing to see. Most people don't realize it, but there's a ton of public figures who grew up skateboarding. For example, there are plenty of rappers who skate, there are comedians that skate, there are actors that skate, and there are even neurobiologists who skate. They aren't necessarily diehard skateboarders, but the fact that they even skated at all and still achieved a high level of success is reassuring. If we're being honest, a lot of skateboarders can get a bit burnt out, but the fact that skaters find success in other areas just goes to show that there are other outcomes available. The OG skater. OG skaters are skateboarders who've been skating for a very long time, usually at least a couple of decades. Sometimes they've taken extended breaks in between, and sometimes they've continued the ride all the way through. Either way, these skaters have a vast knowledge of skateboarding and have witnessed firsthand how much the skateboarding industry has changed over the years. Oftentimes, they can come across as a bit grumpy or bitter, and some of them genuinely are. But at the same time, these guys hold a lot of knowledge and deserve respect for keeping with skateboarding for so long. If you feel like any good ones were missed, go ahead and share them in the comments. Be sure to leave a like on the video. And with that said, thanks for watching.